One of the things that we talk about a lot on this show is that, when you spend all of your bandwidth being fearful of a foreign entity, i.e., Russia, when you spend all your bandwidth being like, oh, Russia, we can't tell you anything about this shadow app. We can't tell you about all these conflicts of interest because if we tell you any information, Russia might hack it. And then look what happens. When you spend all your time being fearful of some foreign adversary, sometimes you forget about all the domestic warnings right in front of your nose. And here's another for instance of that happening. A lot of people really scared. Hey, we got to worry about Russian bots. We got to worry about Russian interference in our election. They might spread some more memes on Facebook and Twitter this election season. They might spend up to $1,400 on ads in broken English. And surely that will hijack our pristine democracy, as Noam Chomsky likes to put it. Our pristine election system. And people talk about these bots and they talk about these troll farms. You know who else had a troll farm, by the way? Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton had a troll farm. It was called Correct the Record. It was an orchestrated effort of bots. And guess what? Guess what's happening now? Mike Bloomberg. Holy crap, Bloomberg's campaign is hiring 500 plus deputy digital organizers at a rate of $2,500 a month. In exchange, they're expected to promote Bloomberg via text messages to all their contacts each week and to make social media posts supporting him daily. Mike Bloomberg is hiring a bunch of online spammers for his campaign. And yes, that's what they are. That is online spam. That is a troll army and a bot army. You're supposed to text your friends. Which, by the way, anyone who receives one of those texts, the first thought that should come to your mind is to be like, I'm going to rethink being friends with this person. Again, these deputy digital organizers, they're getting paid $2,500 a month. In exchange, they have to text their friends for a certain candidate. So not only are their political views up for sale to the highest bidder, they'll endorse anyone who cuts the check. Just like John Mellencamp, who also endorsed Mike Bloomberg. And let John Mellencamp let Mike Bloomberg use his music. But they're also willing to sell out their friends because they're willing to contact you on behalf of a campaign. They're basically selling your information, really. I mean, they're doing it via, they're the middleman. But that's essentially what they're doing. So if anyone gets one of these texts, I hope you will reconsider your friendship with whatever person sent that to you. And here's a snippet from the Washington Post article, or excuse me, from the Wall Street Journal article. We're going to get to Washington Post later, though. Don't worry. Bloomberg bankrolls a social media army, or a bunch of online spammers who have no regard for their friends or their loved ones. And also no regard for who the next president is. They don't care. Michael Bloomberg's presidential campaign is hiring hundreds of workers in California to post regularly on their personal social media accounts in support of the candidate and send text messages to their friends about him. The effort, which could cost millions of dollars, is launched ahead of California's March 3rd primary and could later be deployed nationwide. It is one of the most unorthodox yet by the heavy spending billionaire and blurs the lines between traditional campaign organizing and the distribution of sponsored content. It blurs the lines. No, it doesn't blur the line. It eliminates the line. They're being paid. And by the way, it doesn't sound like there's anything saying that they're being paid to do this. So it's actually deception. Oh, and by the way, we're trusting Facebook to tell us what is and isn't fake news. Well, isn't this fake news? If somebody is being paid to promote it, they're not doing it on their own. And there's nothing in there saying, by the way, they're paid to do this. This is sponsored content, because that's what it is. If you're being paid to do something, it is sponsored content. And you have to disclose that. but they're not. They're just. Oh yeah, this is just me. This is what I care about. Mike Bloomberg. I really want to see him be president. We have a racist oligarch in the White House. We got to replace him with another racist oligarch who's not going to do anything to help anyone. And has Facebook issued a statement about this? Has Twitter? Isn't this a troll army? Just like what we're so scared Russia's going to do? How is this any different? And people, you're texting your friends. This is not a political campaign. This is not. This is an oligarch trying to buy an election in the most deceptive way imaginable. With any shred of relevancy that our elections had, which they barely have any, but any shred is slowly being eliminated completely. The fact that something like this, and this is why we need to get money out of politics entirely. This is why we need more transparency in our media. This is why we need an actual media watchdog in the country to form an actual news structure in our society so stuff like this can't happen in political elections. And nothing's going to be done. I mean, this is just going to happen. This is just going to happen. This should not be legal. You know, you want to hire someone to make social media posts, that's fine. But it should be transparent that people know that's what they're doing. They should be using a campaign account. Or they should at least have something like, hey, this is sponsored. They shouldn't just be acting as if they're just doing this on their personal will. Like, hey, I'm really inspired by this guy, the stop and frisk guy. I'm inspired. Here's a post. What if he would have hired a Russian organization to do this? Would people be reacting differently? Would people care? Would Facebook do something? Why is it any different just because they're in the United States? And I know what you're going to say, well, they're citizens. They can actually vote. Yeah, I get that. Doesn't that make it even worse? Doesn't that make it even worse that he is just literally buying votes? He's literally buying votes and buying influence. Isn't that worse? At least if it was just some foreign spamming agency. It's like, all right, he got some foreign spammers to spam on his behalf. That's ridiculous and should be illegal. But when it's domestic, it's like you're actually buying votes too. Mike Bloomberg. All right, Mike Bloomberg. And if you get one of those texts, please reconsider your friendships because you have at least one person who ain't really your friend. A friend wouldn't do that to a friend. They wouldn't do that. All right, Mike Bloomberg. Wow. I mean, that's incredible. That's incredible. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news on with Ron.